Took my wife to the hospital. As the doctor cut open her clothes, he was shocked to discover that her shoulders were covered with strange lumps. I hurriedly asked the doctor what was going on. The doctor, very serious, told me it was a severe infectious disease. He then pushed me out of the room. What I didn't expect was that, after I left, the doctor took off his mask and revealed a sinister smile. It turned out that this was all a scheme for a date. The lumps on my wife's shoulders were not a disease at all, but coffee beans glued on with adhesive. The whole plan was to get me out of the way. What followed was something no one wanted to witness, and at that moment, I was completely unaware. Then, a cleaner walked by to empty the trash. She found a tube of glue inside the bin. At first, I didn't think much of it, but then, she took out half a bag of coffee beans.
Looks a lot like what was on my wife's skin.
It doesn't make any sense.
And yet, she's in that room right now, and she doesn't look as good as she does in this photo.
But when she saw my wife's photo, she said that my wife came to this hospital every week. I didn't believe her at first, because it was my first time bringing my wife here, but the cleaner insisted that she had worked here for 5 years, and couldn't possibly be mistaken. Seeing her certainty, I suddenly understood everything. I grabbed the glue and coffee beans, and formed a plan for revenge.
Doctor! Doctor!
What did I tell you? Get out! Get out! Get out!
Look, it looks like I cut the virus from my wife.
Seeing the coffee beans on my arm, they realized I must have figured something out, but they tried to remain calm. The doctor told me to change into a hospital gown, and that he'd check on me soon. He then took the opportunity to step outside with my wife, to discuss their next move. Seeing my wife's worried look, the doctor quickly reassured her. He would give me a sedative, under the guise of treatment, and when I passed out, he would remove all the coffee beans from my body. That way, there would be no evidence left. At this moment, they thought their plan was flawless, but little did they know, they were about to get into trouble. When they entered the room again, I was already in my gown, lying on the bed waiting. The doctor took out the sedative, but I suddenly sat up in bed, and told them I already knew their secret. At this point, they refused to admit anything. Just then, the cleaner walked in.
How dare you record me without my permission?
I have recorded everything.
My job is to clean up trash, and I'm doing just that.
In the end, the doctor was fired for illegally administering the sedative. My wife would be divorced for cheating, and would end up with nothing.